What a great way to start off the live, am I right? Not realizing that it was muted on my software, but not on the mic. Thanks, Quinn, for the text message. Appreciate that. And maybe I should just go ahead and take a look at the chat beforehand, before I start talking and everything. Anyway, we're good now. It's always something with these live streams where it's just like it's something's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Anyway, so let me just go ahead and start over. Wow. Guys, thank you. We did it 100,000 subscribers, and that's even after not uploading for about an entire month. Now, per usual, the excuse is, yeah, I've been pretty busy. With the preparation for the Gun Owners Advocacy and Leadership Summit, the second annual goals event that Gun Owners of America has put on, and yours truly being the MC of again, I took a step back. In addition to that, also what was released at Goals, I took a step back because something that's been a year and a half in the making, the signature series Danny Defense Mark 18 with myself and Gun Owners of America. Um, yeah, that's been taking up a little bit of time also. So I'll be getting back into things very, very shortly. And I can't help but to thank all of you guys for, first of all, getting the channel to 100,000 subscribers, thanking my wife for being an absolute awesome support for helping make this happen as well. You guys already know Kelsey, shout her out in the chat, all right? And with that, too, I have to thank you guys for making the signature series Mark 18 possible because you practically bullied Daniel Defense in their social media and comment sections when they released John Lovell's Warrior Poet Society signature series M4, which great gun, great guy. Love John and what he and his wife have been preaching about homeschooling and everything that they've been doing. Just wonderful people. But it was almost immediately after they released their signature series rifle that you guys were in the comment section saying, why isn't there a Clint Morgan, Magdump Morgan Mark 18? What the hell are you guys doing? And so that was just kind of funny to see all that happen because after I met their project manager over there, Jacob, awesome guy also, he's like, so we got to make something happen because your audience is pretty much bullying us into making it happen. So here we are. The entire idea behind this Mark 18 was, of course, when Danny Defense approached me, we talked, and obviously getting Gun Owners of America involved just made sense. I've joined GOA officially on their staff as an employee, as their chairperson for 2A Defenders, which is our student outreach program, because I'm passionate about their mission to defend and restore the Second Amendment. And I couldn't be more honored that they again chose me to host the first and second annual goals events, both in Knoxville, Tennessee. So yeah, I want to support this organization through my employment, but of course through any other ways necessary because I believe their mission is true and I want to see them succeed. What does them succeeding look like? Pretty much running us all out of a job, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. So we're going to keep pushing and fighting for our Second Amendment right. So when the opportunity came where we could donate a portion of the proceeds to GOA to help fund this fight, because it's not cheap, especially this fight against the National Firearms Act, which is kind of the point behind this gun, that's been taking up a lot of time. All right. So with all that being said, there's been a couple of other projects I've been working on that I'm excited to be releasing soon as well. But just because you haven't been seeing content from me doesn't mean I've just been sitting over here, playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 until the wee hours of the morning. All right, so thank you guys again. Again, thank you to my wife, and of course, there's so many other just family members and friends that have like stuck through all of the BS, through the drama and things like that. And I got a really, big shout out to them. They know who they are. Um, and so it's just really cool to have friends in my corner that aren't looking to take advantage just because I have connections in the industry, or just because now I've reached, a larger, I guess we can call it, platform on YouTube or anything like that. People that just like legitimately just want to see success, even if they're not involved. And one of them, of course, has been a fan, but also a friend since my days at Classic, and that's Daryl Rostick at Rostick Arms, which is why he's so significant for this 100,000 subscriber giveaway that we're going to be doing very, very soon. As soon as I get the video and the website built, I'm working on it. I'm sorry. Okay. I know I'm delayed, but it's happening like ASAP. And that's the gun that you see right here. No, not the AT4, which is spent, by the way. That is not a live AT4, in case anybody from the federal government is questioning things behind me. Just going to throw that out there. Disclaimer. All right. I actually plan on cleaning it out and turning it into a beer bong. So I'm just trying to figure out how to fly with it to Vegas for SHOT Show. Different story. Anyway, that Rostick Arms you see right there, just like my Mk18 signature series, I built out from parts, accessories, components that I legitimately would trust my life with. In fact, the Mk18 I almost used last night, which is going to bring me to a whole other topic tonight, because there's being in this industry and this firearms world that I'm in. I gotta say, I get questioned a lot about needs, right? I think we can see probably where this is going to go. I mentioned in my post yesterday on Instagram with Daniel Defense and a few others that, this gun out of the box, I think is ideal for home defense, any type of close quarters engagement, or if you're just looking for something to add to the collection. They don't make a Mk18 Riz 2 quad rail with an ambidextrous lower receiver, so I wanted to bring something a little bit different, but also, honor the OGs that still like to rock some Picatinny quad rails, okay? But with all that being said, Rostick Arms have been supportive since day number one, before he was Rostick Arms. And that's why he donated a rifle to the channel that's got yours truly. I'm truly blessed to see my logo, that has, meaning to me, obviously, engraved on so many different guns that I have like I trust, right? Like Rostick. I mean, honestly, Daniel Defense, LWRCI, you guys have done a great job, but the Rostick Arms engraving, I know you guys can't really see it. You will soon, but that looks the best. I mean, they absolutely killed it. It's solid. So Daryl, whoever you got doing your engraving, give him a big shout out. That thing looks fantastic. And that is a 1 of 1, by the way. I don't even have a Rostick Arms that has my lower receiver engraved into it, but one of you will very, very soon. And yes, I wanted to make sure that I kitted it out just like my intent with the Mk18. I want something that somebody can pick up and they can defend their lives and their loved ones with, because I don't want to steer my audience or my viewers in a wrong direction. I promise you guys, I'm never going to be a shill. I'm never going to be putting out things that I truly personally would not use myself. So that's something that I really stand behind, and I want to have that integrity, and I want to be a reliable source for people to come to either get information, education, or just practical ideas when it comes to firearms. And maybe some not so practical, as you probably see some of my builds, but that doesn't matter. I say all that to say thank you guys, and I hope to continue earning your viewership and your support as this adventure continues to truck along. And, well, I think that's about it. So let's back up just a little bit, because now it's story time. Who remembers that guy from Vine, right? Story time. Anyway, so last night, actually it happened during the day, I spotted a bobcat on my property, which no big deal. It's happened plenty of times before, but this guy's getting a little bit closer than what I typically see. It's almost like they're becoming a little desensitized to humans. Now, in the state of New Hampshire, where of course I'm located, they are a protected species, and you can only engage a bobcat legally if if you are an immediate threat or danger, or if they are pretty much attacking, killing your livestock or animals that you own. And last night it about got really close. So what was the gun that I picked up and grabbed? Yeah, that one right there. Because for one, I just got back from goals. I had it. That was the gun that I was traveling with as my truck gun. So it was already loaded, already zeroed, just put fresh batteries in the optic and the light. And so, yeah, I had it nearby. And that was the gun that I picked up when I decided to go outside and just scan some things, because I noticed that my ducks were still out in the run, not in the coop, and it was already dark. And as I typically do, Surefire Turbo, thank you, Surefire, for making a very high candela light that it can throw a really good beam, but I'm still only at about 50 yards, if that, from my tree line, when I noticed I saw a rather large cat trotting across the field, and he was staring at me and doing the down and the that kind of thing, and then coming down and then coming up. And I'm like, dude, you're pretty. I do not want to kill you, but if I do, it's going to be with this gun, because I think honestly too, like that's just going to this, it makes sense. Like, you want to talk about home defense, chicken defense too. Just going to throw it out there, all right? So I bring all that up to say, when I'm propositioned, when I'm asked the question, why would anybody need something like that for home defense? And a lot of that answer is very much so subjective. It's going to really relate to the individual and how it might affect their budget, their environment, those around them, their loved ones, if they're in a home by themselves or with a family. There's a lot that really goes into it. But my mindset behind the Signature Series Mark 18 was ultimately make a gun that you can pick up right out of the box, and you've got yourself something that's truly battle proven, something that's durable, reliable. It's going to keep on running just like my OG Mark 18 has been since 2015. 16, sorry, that's when I got it. Well, 2015 is when I paid for it. 2016, 11 months later, is when I got the tax stamp for it back then. Now these things are coming in kind of quick, so take advantage of that. Even though, yes, $0 tax come January, but what is going to happen to the wait times at that point? It's questionable. We'll see. Anyway, getting off topic. So I say all of that because I really want this gun to be something that somebody can pick up right out of the box. Obviously, it comes equipped with everything that you see here for the price tag of like $3,500. That is something that we tried to keep down as much as possible. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to piece together that entire kit and come out below 3,500. So, hey, there is some cost savings there, but we understand too that that's a hard bill to swallow. Financing's available. But at the same time, I wanted it to be something with all the parts and pieces and accessories that I truly trust on a gun that I trust, in a camouflage or a Cerakote that helps protect a gun that I think does a pretty good job in a majority of the states. And man, it looks good. I do really like the way it looks. So I hope you guys like it as well. I hope it makes sense that I like the idea of having, again, I run Huxworks on the Mark 18s that I have, and I like to flow through design. So I figured, all right, why not go ahead and throw a Huxworks flow, or a Huxworks QD muzzle device on it? You guys can pop that off if you want to throw something else on it, but why not come with something already capable of QD, quick detach, for those of you that don't know, for a silencer. Cool, done. A little bit further back, you're going to notice the Surefire Turbo light. Again, high candela, so you can definitely blind anybody that's within close proximity, and that gives you the opportunity to get a positive ID on a target if necessary. Keep in mind though, because it is such a bright light focused beam, that light can reflect and even cause temporary blindness to you if you're not aware of where you're pointing your firearm and that light. The way around that is aim it at the ground. Light bounces and you'll be able to identify just fine without having to aim directly up. Your eyes can be focused here, bring up to shoot if need be. Not all that difficult. Mod light pressure button, or the mod light systems mod button, because that thing is cool. Takes up very little retail on the rail itself, and it works. I've never had one fail on me, so awesome. Mod light makes excellent stuff, so there you go. I know they're both kind of like competitors, but hey, you can use them together. It's okay. They won't complain. Continuing back on the gun, having a burn-proof gear rail wrap on that. If you're like me and you've taken several classes, you know that rails, barrels, things like that can get hot. So if you are looking to do the right thing and seek training with your firearm, I wanted to come with a rail wrap from, again, Made in America brand, burn-proof gear. I've got friends over there. I've got absolute love for that company. That's who I'm using for all my suppressor covers and everything else too. That they just make a great product, and I've never had one burn out, if you will, I guess. So something to protect your hand for those long days at the range. Angled foregrip, because I do like a little bit of ergonomics on the rail. And it would be a vertical grip if it was an SBR variant, which a lot of you have asked for an SBR variant of this Mk18 Signature Series collab with myself, Daniel Defense, and Gun Owners of America. And if you sit tight, you might have that option coming soon. Now, continuing on with the gun, EOTech. The EOTech EXPS2, for most of us, I think is going to be a solid optic. Again, extremely durable. I run EOTech on a lot of my stuff. Code MagDump if you're looking to save yourself a little money, by the way, at the EOTech website. Shameless plug. EOTech I've been using for years. I still have an actual original EXPS that still has the L3 Harris markings on it before they separated and went their different directions. And it still does a really good job. And I was just going to see if I had it right here next to me or if it's on a gun over there. But anyway, so next is obviously the grip. Driven Arms Co., the VCGL. Driven Arms Co., you guys already know I absolutely love that company. Brett and the guys over there just make such an awesome product, extremely ergonomic. Love it. My favorite grip, hands down. I've tried a lot on the market, but I just keep gravitating back towards that guy right there. I've also got a Driven Arms Co., the Shadow crossover grip on the Rostic gun. So again, just solid guns, works great, okay? Continuing on to, you're gonna notice just a little bit further back, SB Tactical SBA5 brace, because that has been the latest and greatest that SB Tactical has put out. Solid, everything about this is ergonomic, it's comfortable for a variety of different shooters, and on top of that, it just freaking runs. So there you have it. That's the entire idea behind this Mk18 collaboration. And then the Rostic Arms giveaway, 100K giveaway. Again, I cannot thank Rostic, Daryl over there enough for supporting me and being so willing to just, even when times are difficult, he's just like, let me see what I can do, man. Let me see if I can help you out here. Let me see if I can do this. And it's truly an honor, again, to have friends like that in this space. So again, thanks, Daryl, man. I appreciate it. I'm sure he's somewhere in the comments. I haven't checked the comments list yet, but I'll get there. But yeah, it's really cool to see all of that. And so similar products are being used on the Rostic Arms one, except I do have a B5 soft mod stock because that thing's awesome. I do have the Tech 10 sling on there. I decided to go sling less on the Mk18, again, to keep the price down, but also because for home defense, which is kind of my mind behind the gun, you guys already know, probably wouldn't have a sling on a gun. I see the opposite side about somebody grabbing it or taking it from you. Totally get it, man. Don't let that happen. Muzzle thumb. All right, continuing on. EOTech with, this is the EXPS2 with also the G33 magnifier, 16-inch gun. I like having the idea of a magnifier on that. So you got that flip to the side if you don't want to use it. Burn-proof gear wrap, Tango down stubby vertical grip, Surefire again with their basic pressure pad on that one, which is their constant and momentary. And then Surefire muzzle device because I like an RC2 on that gun. So there you have it. That's what's coming to one of you guys very, very soon. I am extremely excited to be offering that to y'all. And now, let's see what you guys are doing over in the chat. That was a lot. Again, just trying to explain everything that's been going on and then all the ideas. And by the way, I don't think I mentioned this 100K giveaway. You're not just, I'm working with a lot of the different companies that have been supporting me since I started my own channel. That includes RTS Tactical. They threw in a mini shield and the carrier. That's awesome. Otis Cleaning. They threw in an entire range box for cleaning said Rostic arms. Jason Noble, Nobleworks, is throwing in one of the custom American flags, just like what you see right behind me here. Hold Up Displays is throwing in a custom wall. Like, guys, this is huge. It's not just the firearm. You're getting, like, some of my favorite brands have gotten together and said, yeah, dude, we want to support you and say thank you to your viewers for getting you to 100K. So what can we donate? What can we provide? Hold Up Displays is throwing in a custom wall. I'll verify the size, but I believe it's going to be a 5 foot section. So you get your gear off the ground and everything. Big shout out to Hold Up Displays for supporting the channel and also throwing in on that. I mean, you see me, this is all Hold Up Displays. The vertical systems, both on the wall there and just in the racking systems there, the horizontal systems, the gear, the shelves. It's sick and made completely here in the United States. I think it's probably the highest quality wall that is being made. So awesome. The mini shield, y'all got a second? I'll be right back. Right? Like, it's a shield in a little carrier. Because why not? You get what I'm saying? So I should probably actually like put this somewhere. And YouTube, this is a shield. It's not designed to cause bodily harm. However, if I were to drop it on my Hey Dudes right now, it would definitely break a toe. So, because it's like stopping a lot of rifle calibers. I'm just throwing that out there. Again, big shout out to Jason Noble. Otis. Throwing us, oh God, about dropped that. Throwing in a sport box, right? For all of your cleaning needs and everything. Like, dude. So that's the big reveal. You know, I kept it kind of limited about who all is doing what, but now I'm just making sure I haven't forgotten anybody. So if I did, I'm sorry. Your information, your socials will be on the Gleam page once I get it built out. So yeah, there you go. And if I'm being honest, you guys know the channel I came from, Classic Firearms. They got really good at giveaways. So I just wanted to make sure that I could live up to that. All right. Now, granted, I can't afford to do it weekly, but maybe one day or bi-weekly. All right. So there you go, man. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am right now, because I'm looking forward to surprising one of you with all of it. And, you know, as I continue to think about things and say things that I will have to figure out how to make happen, you know, because my mind's like, all right, what about a range day with, you know, and yeah, I just need to stop talking out loud right now before I put myself in a hole. But yeah, there you have it. I hope you guys are excited. And again, big shout out and thank you to all of your support. Now I need to go back through and I want to see that the chats are chatting. All right. Who got the first one? Here, let's see. Well, Country Bear Assassin, I see yours. I'm trying to play nice. I don't want YouTube to shut us down. All right. And so far, are we up? Are we still good? Like, this is a record. All right. Y'all don't screw me here, okay? I'm being nice. So, also, let me get back to StreamYard here. I just need something. Where did that go? I'm glad you're liking it. If I actually give it away, it will be. It might take me a little bit of time to get everything built out because I don't have an entire team doing that for me. But it's gonna happen. All right, don't worry about it. So there you go. Glenn over here sounded like a NASCAR driver thanking the sponsors. Hey, I've thanked you guys the most. All right. Y'all are the ones that have made this happen. And it's just really cool that I've got friends in the industry that just want to see me succeed, see, my family happy, and they want to see my viewers also happy. So like, yeah, dude, I'll sound like that for right now. So there you go. All right. So I hope you guys are enjoying all of that. But let's see here. That's wild. Um, now I'm over here like getting lost in the whatever I'm trying to say and all these different conversations that are taking place. Norse Arms, you just noticed Darth Maul's lightsaber. Well, that, sir, is not Darth Maul's lightsaber. All right? It's not Darth Maul's lightsaber. Similar, the dual design and all that type of stuff, but that one belongs to a very specific Jedi from a very specific video game that I also like to play. So you guys can go ahead and y'all go ahead and drop that. Let's see how many of you guys are in there. Fallen Order fans. All right, there you go. Greg is saying he likes the Mk18 collaboration. It's on his list now. That's awesome. Thanks, man. There he is. Ross, I just want to go on record and say we were the first rifle company to put Clint's logo on a lower. You're the first one that I didn't pay to do it. That is absolutely true. Yes, so thank you. I appreciate you, man. Again, appreciate all of you guys. And thank you for the update. Appreciate you, Brian. Thank you, man. Double Z Ranch is saying we miss you at Classic. And dude, there's days I miss Classic too, like when I'm trying to record content on my own and also edit it and do everything else on my own. Those days I missed Classic. That's for absolutely sure. But as you guys know, Classic will always have a special place in my heart for getting my foot in the door of the firearms industry and allowing me to exercise my little Pro 2A voice on their platform and essentially allow me to kind of grow to where I'm at today. So big shout out and thanks to Classic. Always. Danny is saying he just wants the AT4. Oh, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. What's funny is this was you guys will also see maybe some other parting gifts because with all of that, everything else that was happening this last weekend, hence why the shave and everything else, was my last drill in the Marine Corps. It's bittersweet, um, and I'm excited to take a little bit of something off the plate so I could spend a little bit more quality time with my family and not being pulled away because Marines need something or whatever else. It is what it is, you know. But hey, I, you know, 14 and a half years and it's been a fun ride, but it just gets to the point where it's like, man, it's just time to move on. I pretty much I got to the point where if I'm going to be doing any traveling, I'd like to do it for myself, with my family, or for GOA, and helping support their mission there, my mission, and not so much for Uncle Sam anymore, So just how it goes sometimes. James, good to see you, man. I'm about 1/3 of the way to saving for my Bull Armory SAS 2 Tac Pro. You can't really see it, but that's the gun sitting right there is the SAS Tac Pro, the one with the ports. So awesome gun. You are going to love it, dude. You're absolutely going to love it. Let's go ahead. James, also, I saw you have missed the live streams. Glad to see you back, brother. Yes, the weekly live streams are kicking back up. So you guys are going to be seeing me every week unless I'm traveling, things like that, which OPSEC, probably shouldn't be saying that, but or maybe pre-recorded lives. I don't know, but you guys get it. With all that, though, yeah, I am glad to be back, and thank you, dude. I appreciate the super chat. Kryptonian SPR build. Which barrel would you recommend? Chrome Hammer Forge, the 416R, FN versus Geisley versus Sons of Liberty barrel. Man, that's a lot, dude. All right. Okay, so SPR build. What would I do? I'd go with pretty much whatever PRI does for their Mark 12. Um, but in all seriousness, that's a difficult one to answer. I'm going to save that one maybe for the chat. I know this is a super chat. I greatly appreciate that. But hey, we're all putting it here right now for everybody to see. So, community, let's come together. What do you guys think? And the reason I'm not going to answer it is because, quite frankly, I don't know the answer. As far as what I would recommend, I think 416R is a great barrel, but I've always had really good luck with Chrome Hammer Forge, so I haven't really taken out and gone down to the nitty gritty about a comparison between the two. When it comes to FN versus Geisley versus Suns, hey, I kind of love all those brand. FN barrels are renowned for their quality and accuracy. Geisley makes a quality product. Sons of Liberty, I am becoming more and more of a fan of Suns because of their obviously the quality behind their product, but also they embody pretty much the Second Amendment. I mean, their company's name is Sons of Liberty, like Gunworks, like awesome. So just their um what aura, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but just their pro-American way of doing business and what it means has gotten me to be even a bigger fan. So, you know, there's that. Thank you again, Kryptonian. Appreciate that. Jake Boxer, hated to miss goals, but my father-in-law passed. Great man. I'm sorry to hear that, Jake. Um, that really sucks because I know, like my father-in-law, um, also a great man, and I'm not so ignorant or naive to believe that that day will never come. It's actually something that's kind of weighing on me because I think about when my dad passed, you know, I was only 24. And at that point in time, I thought to myself, I still have a lot of time. And I'm thinking about that with my mom now. Like, dude, I need to be calling my mom like every single day. Like, what am I doing? You know? And then, of course, life gets ahead of you, you know, kids, all that type of stuff. But guys, call your mom. Tell her you love her. Call your dad. Tell him that you're just hoping you're making them proud if they're still around. And then your in-laws too. I hope you have a good relationship with. Mine are pretty freaking awesome. So, you know, I'm really blessed and lucky about that. So, I'm sorry to hear that, Jake. And it reminds me of a guy that I met at Goals who actually gave me a book, and I have that book in his card upstairs right now. And he said he watched my 1911 video, and he said it reminded him of growing up with his dad, and he was a little bit older gentleman too. And you know, he this was right at the end of the show, and he handed me that book with his card in it, and he started talking about his dad, and he started getting emotional, and then I started feeling for him, and we hugged each other, and it's like I just met this guy, but I feel like we just became friends, you know. So you guys are awesome, and thank you. God bless, and I hope honestly that um, I hope I just hope there's peace around it. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, but yeah, there you go. General Grant would never have guessed that you play something like Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I put around 50 hours into the game, the first game, and got bored. I didn't play the first one. The second one, though, I just been like into the medieval thing recently. I don't know. But then I started playing this game, and now I'm on my second playthrough, and it's like, dude, this game's fun. But it takes me Hey guys, it takes me months to get through a game because I legitimately have to kind of like, if I'm up before the rest of the family at about 5 a.m. or so, I'm like, all right, this is my me time. I can pour myself a cup of coffee, go water the plants, make sure all the birds are still accounted for and a bobcat didn't get them. And yeah, then I can go chill out for a little bit, you know? What I really should be doing is, I guess, trying to make content, but it's hard to do that at 5 o'clock in the morning when everybody's sleeping and I'm trying to shoot guns. What silencers are for, right? Jake, James, thank you. It's been really tough for all of us, especially him, of course, and it's heartbreaking. Uh, what did I miss? Uh oh. Jake, big time A2 supporter, but can I get some prayers for my 16-year-old son who lost his best friend in Thursday night in a firearm incident, please? Happened 5 feet in front of him, and he's going through it. Jake, I'm sorry to hear that, man. And this is a lot of my mission. I want to get people excited about exercising and defending the Second Amendment, but I'm also really wanting to educate people. And again, it's a true blessing and an honor that GOA made me their chairperson for the student outreach program, because that's allowing me to put out content that's more directed to younger audiences about firearm safety and things along those lines. Um, you know, I know this is public, and you probably don't like, most people probably don't share stuff like this, but I like you guys. You're my audience, my viewers, every one of you that I've met in person. I feel like we could all be homies and go grab a beer and hang out with. So I'll share this with you. And it's something I've shared too on podcasts and stuff like that. But I never got to meet my oldest brother. And one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing today is because my oldest brother, just before his second birthday, was killed due to a negligent discharge of a firearm, an incident that could have been prevented through training and education. Ultimately, an adult got a hold of a gun that he thought was a toy because of how small it was, and he put it to my brother's head, and pulled the trigger, again, thinking it was a toy. I'm still here, but it looks like my camera just died. I'm going to switch to, there we go. You guys can see my roof and how everything needs to come together. So I think it probably overheated. I don't have the little compartments open, so oh well. I forgot about that. That's on me. Anyway, continuing on with the story, that's how I lost. I can't even say I lost my oldest brother because I didn't even get to meet him, but that's how my dad lost his first son. So I can't say I relate, but a tragedy like that hit, and I saw how it affected my dad even decades later. Um, and so I'm sorry that you're going through this. I can understand how traumatizing that is. And I hope that your son, I hope that he can use this as a way to prevent it from happening in the future. I hope it doesn't completely scare him away and turn him off from firearms 100%. But at the same time, in a situation like this, it's also understandable. But yes, I'll be praying for your son and you and your family, and of course his friend's family, and that everybody gets through this. And Jake, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's rough. So, um, yeah, James, I think that's nice, for apologizing and for just putting it out there. We offer our condolences here. So there we go. Truth hurts. How often do you just sit and look at that great wall? I actually do it kind of often, but not for what you're probably thinking. I keep looking at my camera there, thinking that I'm still talking to it, but I'm talking to you guys here now. Um, because I keep thinking, like, what do I need to change out? What do I want to take to the range? You know, I kind of look at it and ponder about, well, what's my next move, right? So fairly often though. So there you go. Oh man. And yeah, for those of you that said Cal Kestis Jedi Knight 3420, that is his lightsaber that you can no longer see because my camera here is, yeah, what are you gonna do? And my microphone is, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I'm pretty sure my camera overheated. Guys, it's always something. Maybe one day I'll become a professional at this, and we'll actually we'll get through a live stream where we don't have any audio issues, we don't have any camera issues, we don't have YouTube shutting us down. Maybe one day it'll happen. All right. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Oh my goodness. Jake James, thank you. It's been really tough for all of us, especially him, of course, and it's heartbreaking. It really is, man. It really is. Again, so sorry to hear that, dude. And yeah, for you praying type out there, help Jake out, all right? All right, and his son and families that are involved. Okay. Brian, yeah, last drill in the Marine Corps. So I'm really excited because I haven't grown my hair out in almost 15 years. You know, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. You know, I mean, I don't know what to do with myself right now, right? So, Simplify, Colin, appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Simplify, bye, the Husky Bunch, appreciate that. And oh, don't touch any guns, Clint. We're breaking a record here. I know, it's pretty wild, right? Oh man. Now James is saying he likes his ballistic advantage 12.3 on his SPR build. That's pretty awesome. Rossick naturally is saying it should be a chrome hammer forged, cold hammer forged. Did I say chrome earlier too? I think I did. Cold hammer forged Rossick arms barrel. But yeah, you usually would probably give you a strike if you touched a goat gun. For those of you that don't know, goat guns are the little tiny models. They're actually really cool. They were at Goals this past year, and they're really nice. Um, all good barefooted gardener SPR special purpose rifle. Those are kind of like your DMRs, but they fill even a more specific role. Well, they fill a DMR fills more of a specific role as to where a special purpose rifle could be something I consider a little bit shorter, but not like CQB short, right? It's kind of like anything in between CQB and DMR. It's a special purpose, you know, like whatever that might be, trekking in the woods all day, but you don't want an 18-inch heavy profile barrel. Maybe you want something a little bit shorter, but you still want it to be a little bit heavy profile for a little bit, you know, more accurate, for better accuracy over a long string of fires. You know, 13.9, 12.3, whatever, somewhere in there. You know what I'm saying? It's to each their own. Again, it's just another term or acronym to throw on a gun at the end of it all. And I'm sure there is an actual definition up there, but you got Google. I should be in San Antonio next month, and maybe I'll go visit Liberty Gun Works. Scott, that would be awesome. Tell him I said, hey, you know. Brian says he does not like chrome lined for longevity. All right, interesting. There it is, special purpose rifle, SPR short. Well, SBR is short barrel rifle. SPR is special purpose rifle. James, how much you having to drink tonight? All right, because you said SPR, but then you put SBR, the acronym unabbreviated. Cheers. Rossick Super Panda rifle. Oh my god, you guys are killing me. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you. Jessica Simp on Rumble. Good to see you, man. Speaking of which, let me run over to Rumble really quick. We've got a couple of super chats over here that don't show up on StreamYard for some weird reason. So I'm going to get to those here in just a second. And thank you guys again for all the super chats and the support. It's great help. Thank you guys. The Cold Hammer Forged barrel is primarily used in the FN machine guns like FN Mini-Me, which is really cool. It's pretty much a 240, but European. That's now been added in COD Black Ops 6 after Season 5. Dude, you and all just the information you have is funny. But there you go. So, Jake missed goals because, oh, that one did come through. I saw that one. Or did you put one on Rumble and YouTube? If you did, thank you. Appreciate it, bro. Ted, good to see you. Alaska Ted. It was great to meet you at Goals. I got Monty and Chris to come up to Alaska for a meeting in October. Well, that's exciting. Those are a couple of our directors there. Chris Stone, if that's who the Chris is you're referring to, he is our director of state and local affairs. And Monty is Pacific Regional Director, if I remember correctly. Awesome dudes. That's really cool. I would also like to come up to Alaska and check that out. So maybe I'll talk with them. That's really neat, though. That's awesome. So tell them I said hey when they get out there, okay? Redhead Devil wants my opinion on the P320 situation. So I've got a 320, right? Custom works. I've shot it a lot. I've actually shot the 320 platform in both the M18, 320. They had a like a I can't remember the name of it now, but they had another like commemorative edition 320. I ran that one a lot. I ran another like Custom Works 320 that actually fell out of my holster, didn't go off when it hit the ground. So I've had a lot of actually good experience with the 320 platform. That being said, there in my mind is an obvious issue, an apparent issue, and the way SIG has kind of handled it, quadrupled down and gaslit us into it's the holster, into don't carry with one in the chamber. What, bro? So my opinion is SIG makes good guns. I have a couple of 226s that I absolutely love. I've got a Rattler LT. That's awesome. That's like one of my bedside guns. You heard that correctly. So they make fantastic firearms. And I don't know what happened with the 320. I don't think any of us truly know. And we may never we may never actually probably won't ever will really know what happened with this gun. But at this point, it's kind of like, well, I want to be on SIG's side. I really do. But they're making it very difficult to be on SIG's side. Yeah. They really lost me with the it's your holster, and they lost me a lot with the don't carry one in the chamber. Well, that goes against pretty much everything I stand for. So, nope. There's that. Oh man, James again. Thank you, man. If Clint would show my build, you would see my ballistic advantage. Well, I'm trying to be good tonight. All right, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying not to make YouTube mad. We'll do a bust your builds, blast your blaster. You know, I was gonna say guess my gat, but that's not really what that is. Anyway, we'll do that next time around. So let's aim next week for getting back into that. And I'm not even going to give out the email right now because I know there's a backlog. All right. I know there is. So next stream, I'll give out the email. We'll kick it back off. All right. So there you go. The 320 has awake technology, like the shake awake technology, like what the Hollow Suns have. Good. Good. Rossick also says that Rossick lowers are the best. Ask him how he knows. You guys are killing me over here. But yeah, there it is, the shake awake technology. Will goals be coming back to Knoxville eventually? So, for those of you that don't know, Gun Owners of America, their third annual and what will be a huge event. Like planning has already gone before Goals 2025 even started. Planning for Goals 2026 was already taking place, obviously, because that's when we announced that we were going to be in Des Moines, Iowa, for our 50th anniversary, 50th birthday of Gun Owners of America. And it's going to be a big one. Now, as far as it coming back to Knoxville, the good problem that we had is we actually outgrew the Knoxville Convention Center, which in my mind, I would love to actually keep having it at the Knoxville Convention Center because this year went so smooth. We worked out all of our kinks from last year. We figured out a lot of the things to do and to not to do, you get what I'm saying. So will we ever be coming back? Here's the answer to that. Hopefully not. But I regret saying that. Hopefully not, because if we come back, that means we've downsized. Um, but at the same time, if we are going to go to a convention center that's smaller because we did downsize, I hope it's Knoxville again. So there you have it. All right. There you go. Oh man. And it, oh yeah, speaking about the, yeah, I got you. But yeah, let's continue on over here. Let's talk about what Mark's talking about really quick, because this is exactly something I was going to talk with my wife about also, because when she first started, earlier in her life, obviously before she met me, she was actually anti-gun, and and it was mostly, and she admits that there was a fear there, and it was kind of based out of ignorance. And to Mark's point, education is key. Start your children off very early and very young so they understand what a firearm is and how dangerous it can be. They should learn not to be afraid of them, though. Yes, having a fear of a firearm before you even start to work with one, that's not a bad thing. That at least means you respect and can appreciate what it's capable of, right? What the person manipulating the firearm may be capable of. So, with that, education is a huge deal. I am going to raise my children with the same mentality that my dad raised me, because my father went very much so, instead of turning against guns, like his first wife did when all this took place, which again I think is actually understandable in this case. Um, Instead of turning against guns, my father took a really, like, still pro gun, but a real pro education and safety aspect of it. So he made sure before me or my siblings were going to shoot that we could ultimately prove to him that we understood how the firearm worked and we could manipulate it. So that, for me at least, my experience was my dad showed me and taught me how to field strip a firearm the moment I could do it myself, show him the controls, show him the basic safety rules and the fundamentals. Then I could take it outside and go shoot it. And that's exactly what happened when I was 7 years old with that M1 carbine that you can't see on screen right now. And that was the first gun I ever shot. So, yeah, safety and education taught and is, yeah. So, Jake, thank you, Clint. There's so much I could say about the incident, but obviously can't hear. I'm sorry for your family as well. Can't imagine it ever gets better for your parents. No, definitely not. My dad, I mean, even though it was decades earlier, the age range between the youngest sibling of mine to my oldest sibling is like almost 50 years. All right. My Just to give you some more context here, when this happened, my father was only 19. So he was 19 years old, and his 2-year-old son, just shy of 2 years of age, actually, um, just had this gunshot wound to the head. And so I can only imagine what my dad went through there. And every year, in December, I can remember him being extremely um, emotional on certain days. So, yeah, being a parent now myself, that absolutely, like, terrifies me. And I know that I'm I'm almost too comfortable with firearms. Does that make sense? Where I can have them laying out and about, and to me, it's like I know what condition they're in. I just handled that one over there. It's fine. But now as I've become a parent, it has become so, like, oh my God, how how do I prevent anything bad from ever happening, right? Um, Especially to my kids. So it's something I know I gotta, work on personally. Obviously, I don't do that just like out everywhere in the house, but I think about like down here in the basement, right? In the bunker. Um, I keep this locked off from the rest of the house. So everything's secure as far as the room goes. Um, and so it's like, but for my kids, I'm thankful that Hold Up Display has like the locking wall mounts, because as my kids get older, everything will be secure. Um, that's just how it's going to be until they can prove to me that I can trust them. Like, sorry, but I have seen too many times what happens to curious kids who haven't been taught. And like I said, I plan on teaching my kids. So, by the way, my mom just texted me. She is watching. So, hey, mom. I said 50 years. Cut that in half. I don't know where I got 50 from, but 25 years between my oldest brother and my youngest sister. So, thanks for the clarification, mom. And love you, by the way. I don't know if you were on earlier, but I told everybody to call their moms, tell them they love them, and I'm sorry I don't call you more often. Don't know if you're on there or not, but there you go. So, Pat, safely strapped. As far as the 100K giveaway goes, that's now extremely blurry in the background, and with everything, you are going to be entered into the giveaway, not automatically. It is going to be something that I'm going to be setting up. You need to travel to the website, because I don't think there's a way for me to export 100,000 emails to try to sign everybody up. So, I'll announce it on live streams, where to go, social media posts, YouTube posts, even things like that. And the giveaway will run for a while to make sure that everybody has a chance to get entries and stuff like that. So don't worry, you will find out once it is live. All right. Tanner saying, I stare at my hold up gun wall. Totally get that. Um, Let's see here. Will GOA come back to Knoxville eventually? I answered that one already. No issue during a live stream, so your goal is to take all the fun out of it. Well, I have been thinking about maybe I'll do 2 live streams a week. I'll do like a YouTube safe stream. I keep looking at the wrong camera again. And maybe even a Rumble stream. And with that, yeah, because we know on the Rumble and like Twitter streams, I can handle firearms and display freedom. So there you go. And thank you, Scott, for becoming a member of the channel. Greatly appreciate that, good sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Saw the goat guns, cool collectibles. I think so, Oh, that's funny. General Grant, my collection has a distinct lack of black powder firearms. Fix it ASAP. I'll get there. I'll get there, okay? So there you go. Let's see here. I'm really happy, CJC, that you're saying that you love the new DD collab. That's awesome. Which brings me to another point, because you guys, I think we can have another conversation about home defense. Because as the DD collab is something that I've obviously worked towards, there's a lot of misconceptions out there about the ideal tool for home defense. Like I said before, it's very subjective. It works, whatever works best for an individual and their environment and their budget, right? Like those are 2 very large contributing factors to what somebody might consider to use for home defense. One of the biggest things a lot of people hear, of course, shotguns. They're the best thing for home defense. And I will not deny that shotguns are an extremely effective tool for within the home, close quarters, things like that. I will just say, in the appropriate application. What is that application? With a team. With a team and a lot of training. Because one of the biggest setbacks with a shotgun, as I've mentioned multiple times, even though this is countered, I'll explain the counter, but capacity is a contributing negative factor to having a shotgun for home defense. Why is that a big deal? Well, In the event that you have multiple home intruders or anything along those lines, you miss perhaps, because yes, misses can occur with a shotgun. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise, or that you don't really need to aim. You just need to point in a general direction. Last time I checked, I was accountable for every single round that went downrange and exited the muzzle of the firearm that I am shooting. I would like to know where those rounds are going. With that, you still need to be somewhat accurate. And if your capacity is lessened, you're probably not carrying around a pocket full of shells to go ahead and start loading up in between shots or whatever it might be. So I like the idea of having capacity on my side, and something that I can be a little bit more pinpoint accurate with, and something that I can control better for faster follow-up shots if I am especially newer to firearms. Me personally, my 1301 that's completely kitted out with all my Aridus stuff and everything, I would gladly take that through a home and do work with in a defensive situation. Just throwing that out there. Granted, I've got a lot of hours on that gun. I know how to manipulate it and run it well. I've also aftermarketed the crap out of it for a lot of ergonomic and comfortable features through Aridus Industries. So again, awesome gun. Absolutely love it. Not my first choice for home defense. So let's the other option, a handgun. For a lot of people, and I want to hear from the chat on this also, but for a lot of people, a handgun might be the best option because it's not only a gun that they can use for home defense, but it's also the same gun they can use for everyday carry. Therefore, well, minimalizing the hit on the budget or on the wallet. Get what I'm saying? You find yourself a nice compromise in a compact firearm like a Glock 19, like a SIG 320. So you find yourself, or like the new Ruger RXM, which is right here, by the way. I may have two. The new RXM Tactical and the base RXM. So that video is coming really, really soon. The SIG 365, Shallow Tech, Bull Armory, the Ultralight, like I carry as my everyday carry, along with my SIG 365 Legion, right? Like a lot of these guns would easily be used in a home defense situation also. Ideal? I don't think so. But better than nothing, obviously, can get the job done. Why I like the idea of a rifle, perhaps a Mark 18. Well, again, capacity, better accuracy, a higher percentage or probable hit factor if a secondary, third, tertiary, fourth shot needs to be sent. I like. So better stability, better control, better accuracy of an AR platform or rifle platform. Now, let's be real. I'm not so blind to say that my Mark 18 I absolutely love. We decided to collaborate on the Mark 18 because why? Because it became a joke and I became synonymous with that platform. However, the ideal home defense gun in my mind is still going to be an AR platform, compact 300 blackout gun. Awesome. 300 blackout, great. It's literally designed to be shot suppressed and within close quarters. Perfect. Why I think the Mark 18 is a great substitute in that regard, 5.56. 5.56, depending on the round, you still don't have to worry so much about over-penetration because it is such a fast-firing gun or fast-traveling bullet that the bullet can start to fragment and pretty much disintegrate once it starts to make impact, depending on the material that it's making impact to, depending on a lot, of course, the projectile itself. Yes, people have talked about fragmentation rounds, or drawing a blank, but yes, fragmenting rounds. And you don't want to shoot those through a suppressor, which I will be running my Mark 18 suppressed pretty much 100% of the time. Well, 98% of the time, because sometimes I do like to run it without the can just because why not? And so that's not going to work for me. Some 77 grain open tip match. I like that. I like the little bit heavier projectile making contact on target. However, what has been found a couple times is fast still, but slower moving, heavier projectiles can penetrate through multiple more barriers than a lighter, faster moving projectile, because that faster moving projectile can actually disintegrate and start to break apart sooner than the slower, heavier one. Crazy to think about, right? Again, I want to do some of these tests myself, but there's so many of them on YouTube also. It's kind of like, I don't want it to be just an overdone or redundant topic. But I say all that to say that I think truly the AR platform is the ideal home defense gun. And I even go as far to say that as well for new gun owners. There's a reason why the AR platform, the M4, the M16, for decades have been the standard issue for the United States military. And that's quite simply ease of use and versatility, right? So you take a look at that, spread that into the civilian market. The AR has become, ironically, America's rifle also, because just how prevalent that firearm is in our great nation. So the AR-15 I will definitely recommend to anybody and everybody if you have the budget for it, of getting both a pistol for everyday carry and an AR-15 for home defense. 10 out of 10 would recommend, because also, well, the AR is great not only for defense against oppression and tyranny from criminals, but also as intended in the Second Amendment, other oppressors, to say the least. So there you have it. I think that kind of covers the bases on why I think, and this is, again, this is a response to a question that's been presented multiple times. And so even though this is a live stream and we're an hour in already, a lot of people I probably already would have lost way before getting to this point, if I'm trying to have that discussion with them and trying to inform and offer an opinion without, belittling and things like that, because that's not how we get people to see our side of things and ultimately get them exercising their Second Amendment, right? So, yeah, I want to say I think I kind of covered all the bases there. If you guys can think of anything for or against that argument in support of an AR-15 for home defense, let me know. But time and time again, too, we've seen young family members use an AR to defend the home against multiple home invaders. That 13-year-old boy out in the Midwest somewhere versus 13-year-old boy comes out on top, like, kind of thing, So, yeah. And then Zero says AK is his go-to for that, which honestly, yeah, solid. I'm not mad about it. There you go. There you go. Let's see here. Well, Zero, if multiple people break in, the next few mag may or may not have 62 grain green tips. There's that too. One of the 2A lawyer channels said that jurors were more sympathetic to shotguns for home defense, just passing that along. That jurors more sympathetic. And that's the mindset we got to break, because that's what everybody says is shotguns are best for home defense. Just pump it, just rack that sound alone will scare away an intruder. And that stuff just drives me nuts when I hear that, because I'm just not gonna bank on that, right? So yeah, Pat, AR is the way. My new truck gun from Tanner. What's up, dude? Will be your DD Mark 18 with the Silencer Co. Velas 556K on it. Tanner, you're the man, bro. That's a homie right there, guys. That is a homie. And a suppressor in real life actually sounds more like a slap sound. It does. I can say this. If we want to talk about different calibers, I also think something like a CMMG Banshee, still an AR platform, but in a caliber cartridge, like 45 ACP. 10 mil if you want to get crazy with it, 9mm hollow points, things like that. I still think a PCC is also a very solid solution for home defense. Still in an AR platform, because ease of use, ergonomics, things like that, right? But granted, if you want to run an MP5 for home defense, I think you're doing a good job too, right? I think the point is, optics are a big concern. And I don't mean like EOTech versus Aimpoint. I mean looking at the gun, seeing something that looks more intimidating, but once you start to break down what the gun does, you start to kind of understand, and then what all the accessories do. Because that was kind of the thing that was presented, was when you take a look at that firearm, that Mark 18 that's extremely blurry right now. What if I back up? Is it a little bit better? Kinda. A lot of people will say, but why is that needed? Like, it looks intimidating, looks scary. And to me, to most of us watching this, probably preaching to the choir kind of thing, it looks cool, right? There's a cool factor to it, right? Like, you look at the MP5. Most people look at that and, well, I don't even know what most people think anymore. Like, when I see an MP5, I love it. I think soft shooting, I think a lot of fun. I think everyone should own one of those in full auto to experience true happiness in life, right? So that's what I think when I see the MP5. The other thing I think is SAS, the Iranian embassy hostage situation. Margaret Thatcher, don't use smoke grenades so that way everything can be televised to show how badass our SAS operators are. And they did it. And it's awesome. With a bunch of MP5s with mag lights attached to the top of the things. Crazy and awesome. So, right? That's what I think when I see the MP5. Other people might think, oh, that's a military gun. Oh, that looks scary. I don't know. But yeah. So that's that. And this is the biggest thing that, Mark, thank you for pointing this out, because this is something I was going to get to, but let's go ahead and get to it now. Training is essential. Education, as has been kind of the theme throughout tonight's live stream, is it's absolutely paramount, as you say here, when it comes to home defense and in general gunplay. Because that's the thing that I hate most, is when somebody says, I got a gun and I'm good now. There's nothing else I got to do. I got the gun, whatever, right? It's like, all right, what's your purpose? Are you going to carry it every day? Yeah. Well, what holster did you get? I was going to put it in my pocket. Oh boy. Well, I'm just going to leave it in my nightstand. Do you have kids? Yeah. You know, like things like that, right? Especially when a company like Stopbox, not sponsored or anything like that, by the way, they just make an awesome product. I have one in underneath my nightstand for my Bull Armory tack. Is is an excellent non-battery operated. I don't want to call it a safe, but a protective um, compartment for your firearm that uses simple mechanics to get into, to make sure that kids or other people just can't get to it. It's such like a cool design, and I love mine. And like I said, my Bull Armory tack that has the extendo mag and everything else, light optic on top, fits in there perfectly, so it's plenty big enough, and I don't have to worry about my kids getting to it, because that's obviously my biggest concern. So there you have that, right? And then the biggest takeaway is, and like I brought up my wife before, you know, when she was younger, more anti-gun, ignorant, and then as she got a little bit older, as she went through, I don't think I'm oversharing here, but she had some bad relationships, and then she felt the need to want to defend herself. And so that's when she started getting into firearms and started following me, and that's how we met. and and now she sees the significance and the importance of not only just firearms in general, but the Second Amendment, right? Which is, well, not only is it very cool, but it's pretty sexy, right? All my gun guys out there I know are like, yeah, dude, a woman that understands that and appreciates that, that's good. So the biggest takeaway is education. People fear what they don't know. So get out there, encourage people to get educated, to get informed, and encourage them to take a class. Take a class together. If you got somebody that maybe isn't all of that receptive to firearms, say, hey, dude, I'll take a class with you. And even if it's like a basic fundamentals class, you guys might think you're way above and beyond that. I have taken more intro to pistol, intro to AR classes than anything else because I feel like I learned something new and it gets me back and grounded back to the basics. Um, and I feel like I learned something new. And it also helps me for when I want to go and teach people I know or people that are just getting into firearms. When I have been instructed by so many different instructors, I take what I like, leave what I don't, and now I can go to somebody and say, hey, you know what? I was in a class and I saw this exact same problem. You know, that entire mindset of always I actually put out a post on that recently, just about always being the student, be eager to learn. Don't ever think that some sort of education is beneath you, because I promise you it isn't. Right? So get out there and go learn some things. Yeah, I think that's a, you know, I know that Lucas recently came out with a video about like pontificating and whatnot, but I think that's a good message, you know? Get out there, go learn some things, and get more people into our community and excited about firearms and excited about their rights. Because as I start to dig a little bit more and more and more to the rest of them, you know, I feel like the Second Amendment could be a good, I feel like the First Amendment probably should be the gateway drug to getting excited about exercising your rights. And then you just go down the rabbit hole of, wow, a lot's been kind of chipped away at over the years. Huh. Yeah, just saying. Lenny on Facebook, I have multiple stop boxes and love them all. Dude, I think they're great. I think it's a great product. So, you know what? You guys should go over there, DM them. Says Clint says he loves you guys, and that's that. Lenny also says never stop learning, and that is the most important thing. 2A is gender equality. Stay strapped or get clapped. Yes, absolutely. Date night with my girlfriend is an hour at the range. Love that. And then get those, you can get them from Otis, you can get them from Amazon, those D-lead wipes, and then go get some ice cream, right? There you go, man. That's a great date night if you ask me. Or you go watch like the latest John Wick and then go to the range, you know? Because nothing, you know, makes you want to go shoot more than watching some really cool guns on screen. So there you go. Jessica Simp, good thing that my Jessica Simpson actually handled guns, especially the M4 in the Tour of Duty and the M16 in her movie Private Valentine. Never seen those movies, but thank you for the insight. Monadnock Shoot, it's good to see you again. About to have to try to relearn pistol shooting now that I own a Glock 47. You got this, man. I know you said earlier that you'd still carry your 320 and all that. Totally get that. You know, there's a joke here about being ballsy enough to carry the 320 at appendix. There's a joke somewhere in there. I'll let you guys find it. But anyway, oh man, the 47's a great Glock though. I think the Glock 47 is probably 45, 47, interchangeability, the modularity with the 47. Yeah, it's cool. Leldon, what's up, man? I wish there were classes in my area or in a decent distance to travel to and they were more affordable. Where are you at? I'm curious. And holy, this guy streams the X count. Yes, I do. I don't know if that's a joke because it's been too long since I have streamed, or if you're truly just like, I didn't know you did stream. I do. Usually the camera looks a lot better, except it overheated and died on me. So, you know, let's try getting it back. Hold on. I'm going to open up all the compartments again. That way it breathes a little bit better. Okay. Turn you off, turn you on. You've had time to, you know, cool down and recharge. Yeah. It's got full battery because it's plugged in and everything. So let's go ahead and go back to the other camera because I hate this angle. It doesn't not do my face shape justice at all, you know. So let's just go ahead and fix that. All right, and we're back to a quality camera that likes to overheat and then make me use not my quality positioning. There, I'm just going to push my laptop out of frame there. So there you go. Cool. And that's me playing with the 300 blackout bullet that I just realized was in frame too. So There you go. Okay. Yes, the X count, I do stream. I've taken a step back just recently, but coming back into things because, well, life is going to be getting a tad less chaotic, and I'll have time for the weekly streams and actually keeping the promises that I make to all of you. So that's the plan, man. Let's keep at it here, okay? Country Bear session. My guys here in Idaho offer free defensive pistol classes. I love that. Again, you guys share, if you're comfortable with sharing, the state that you reside in, things like that, and about classes. And because what I really like about this community is, actually, I was sitting in my armory just before goals with the Marines, and the INI Armory Gunnery Sergeant and the one of the civilians there, part of the SMART team, which is a small arms repair team. All they do is travel from base to base, and they inspect every single weapon on that base, and that's all they do. And they just make sure, like they found one of the M4s that had a loose barrel nut. Well, I'm glad he found it, that's for sure. How nobody else did blows my mind. But little things like that. That's all they do, and they check every single weapon system, everything from the grenade launchers to the belt feds, the light and the heavy machine guns, and to the M4s, to the M18s, to the M9s if you still got them, to everything, right? And that's all they do. And we're sitting there, and I'm talking about what a small world it is right now, because you put out there like, oh, hey, I'm in this area. There's classes all around me. Oh, snap. Well, let's get together and do a class together. I'm talking to these guys, and we all find out that I bought my first house, and they all live local to Concord, North Carolina, right? It's just like, how are we all in Fort Devens, Massachusetts, but we all came from Concord, North Carolina? What? It's just funny how that happens. So put out there, you guys, community is such a big deal, and getting, like I said, getting people excited and eager to exercise their Second Amendment rights, a big deal. And if you guys can do it in a community environment and make friends and stuff like that, then even better. So there you go. Monadnock shooters. I'd love to go down to Pennsylvania, take a long. Yes, yes, take a long range class with Jay and Gray Sky. That's something I'm wanting to do as well. I'm going to be cutting back on the traveling at least for the next month, because your boy needs a break, and I'd like to be home with my family a little bit. So there are some things that I am wanting to do. There's SPR, DMR, long range classes down at the Ben Franklin range with Jay Pedro of Gray Sky Training. Check him out. He is Sergeant JP on Instagram. That's SGTJAYP. Check him out. I follow him if you guys are trying to find him. And excellent dude, extremely knowledgeable. Got to do quite a bit of content with him and do some shooting the other day or other week now. And just incredible guy. And his information and knowledge and experience is just like insane. So check him out. All right. Cool. And Xcount, there are a couple ranges near me in Texas who offer free basic classes to new shooters. That's awesome. I love that they do it for free too. That's really cool. And when you say in Texas, I mean, literally takes you 24 hours to go from one side to the other side. So, you know, Dallas area, things like that, Houston area, whatever it might be. Let's see, Gary, looking at that wall took me back to my 0351 Dragon Gunner days at 32 Weapons Company. That's cool, man. And I'm glad it brought you back some happy memories, I hope. All right. Scott, thanks for becoming a member, man. I need to find classes when I get to San Antonio. Totally feel you on that. Thank you, Pat, for becoming a member. Thank you, Jake, for becoming a member. Greatly appreciate that. And you and your family and your son and your son's friends' family will be in my prayers as well. So thank you guys. Appreciate again all of the support here. All right. And with that, it's almost 11 o'clock already, guys. I think it's time for me to start winding it down because I'm tired. And I'd like to go get some sleep. But if I'm being honest, my wife and I have been on a Conjuring kick, watching the Conjuring movies, and so yeah, I don't know. We just got done with Conjuring 3. I don't know. Maybe we'll go watch The Nun now or something. Yeah. Because why not, you know? So there you go. Traveler, I greatly appreciate that, man. He's saying it's a good stream, even though I started off on mute. Didn't realize that. My bad. And then my camera died because it overheated midway through the stream. Also, my bad for not having all the little doors and compartments open. Who would have thought I needed an air-cooled camera? But here we are. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And on Daniel Defense's website, you can find the Mark 18 if you're looking for it. The Rostic and the RTS Tactical Shield, the Hold Up Display Wall, the Noble Works American flag. That giveaway is going to be coming extremely soon. We're going to have some pretty cool drops here coming pretty soon, showing all that off. So, yeah. Great talk with all of you guys, as always. Thank you again so much. 100,000 subscribers is pretty freaking cool, man. And thank you guys for tagging along, being a part of it, being a part of the adventure, seeing you know, my wife and I put this kind of all together and make it kind of what it is just, it's crazy. It's definitely had a lot of ups and downs. It's definitely a difficult thing to, you know, to dedicate a lot of time to, especially with, you know, young kids, multiple jobs, military service, which is now coming to an end. But hey, it's going to keep on ticking because I enjoy doing it and I'm passionate about our God-given, constitutionally affirmed rights. So thank you guys again for being here, and I will see you. I'll see you next time. You have a good night. Now, as far as the outro goes, I'm thinking about this. I could play the regular outro, but it shows me shooting a gun. Is YouTube going to shut down at the very end, you know? I'll play by their rules tonight. Just tonight. We'll see what we can get away with, okay? Gary, Semper Fi, brother, God bless you as well. Thank you so much. And yeah. We'll leave it out there. Sound good? Sounds good. So, great stream. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. And now you're officially a veteran. I will be on August 25th. Thank you guys. All right. Y'all have a good night. See you next week. As soon as I hit the end stream button.